Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Talk Assassin's Creed. You're not hearing Declan's voice today, and I'll give you a bit of an update on Declan and an update on the show. And as you'll see from the title of the episode, we're going to meet our new co-host Chris today. Say hello, Chris.
Hello everyone, how are you doing?
We're all right, mate. We're all right. So let me tell you about Declan. You might have seen the posts that I put on the show's social media, or perhaps also on our Discord. Declan, he's been struggling with his mental health for quite a while, and we were speaking at the end of July and into August about him needing a break, a long break. We always take the summer holidays off anyway, so we can just relax a bit and spend time with our children. But he said actually he needs an extended break from the recording, the content creation, the research, social media and everything, which of course I completely support. I want him to be well and healthy and happy. So Declan's going to take a while away from the show. We're going to check in with him at the end of the year, so around Christmas time, and see how he's feeling and see if he's feeling kind of recharged and ready to come back, or whether he wants to take more time away. He's been running this show for nearly 4 years. For the first 2 years he ran it on his own, and he was doing an episode every week. His productivity is amazing. And then I joined him in September 21, and I want my friend I want him back together and ready to go. So I said, look, take a long break. We will look after his baby for him. And I've been in touch with him already. You know, we speak regularly on WhatsApp anyway, and he's absolutely fine. Okay, I want to assure you all that he's doing really well. He's really appreciating just being away and just relaxing and being able to play games just for the joy of it and spending more time with his family. So he's fine. He's absolutely fine. But I was thinking I wanted to continue because I really enjoy this show. I really enjoy our conversations. I really enjoy having guests on the show, but I can't do it on my own. I need someone to bounce off of. And I thought of all of our guests that we've had and friends that we've made, and one name popped up in my head, and I thought, Chris, he's got the right stuff. He's a good guy. He's a positive guy. He runs a fantastic community. He knows a little bit about Assassin's Creed, I would say, you know. So we had a conversation over the last few weeks, and he said, yeah, all right, let's do it. So, Chris, welcome to the show, mate. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And thank you very much for you and Declan to trust me in doing this for you, because it truly feels like an honour. I've been a fan of the show since pretty much the beginning, and Declan's a good guy, and I want to help him out any way I can.
Yeah, we appreciate it, mate. We've recorded with you twice in the last 3 months or 4 months. I actually forget, time flies, but we spoke to you a couple of months back on when we chatted about your fan community, Scholars of the Creed. And then when we got the surprise, it was the PlayStation event, wasn't it? We got the surprise Mirage gameplay trailer, and which took everyone by surprise. And Declan and I put the word out to our guests and said, look, we want to record tonight just to get everyone's first impressions. And Chris and Six Keys and Rue, and we've all been on the show many times before, went, yeah, we're free. So we had a great conversation all about what's new with Mirage and what we're thinking and what we're looking forward to. So it was kind of a natural choice. It does also help that you're in my time zone, or we're in the same time zone.
That helps a lot.
We've got good friends in Australia, in New Zealand, in the US, but the time zones for recording would be tricky. So, you know, it helps to have a guy in England and a guy in Scotland with a big wall in between, of course. I'm going to pay for that. Right. So, Chris, welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us. We are planning to record, on our usual schedule, so an episode every 2 weeks between now, early September and Christmas. We'll take a couple of weeks off over Christmas. We'll see how we're all feeling, see what we want to do next, and then the plan is to be back in January. We've got a few episode ideas planned for September. We're definitely going to be warming up for Mirage. We're looking forward to seeing what we get about Mirage. In terms of, are we going to get gameplay deep dives, developer deep dives? in the run up to the release in October. And then once the game is out, I mean, my plan, and I'm interested to hear your plan in a minute, Chris, but my plan is to play this game quite differently to how I played Valhalla and Odyssey and Origins, where I'm a completionist. I like to go region by region, town by town, talk to every NPC, do every side quest, collect every collectible, and then I move on, you know. And for Mirage, I think I said this on our last episode with Declan, I'm just going to do them. We don't know the structure of the game yet. How will it be linear, or will it be semi-open, or will there be side quests or world events? We don't know yet. But my plan is like sprint through the main story, and then come back again and do a more thorough and leisurely playthrough. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, that's kind of my plan as well. Because just like you, I am the completionist. I mean, that way where I need to kind of do everything in the area before I move on to the next part. And but because of the position I'm in now with our group and stuff like that, I feel like I need to play this one differently, and I have to play it quickly to get through it, just to see what the story is, so that I'm not kind of left behind and wondering what's everybody else talking about. Do you know what I mean? So I can't let that happen this time, because that happened to me with Odyssey and Syndicate and Rogue. All three of them, like, it just took me so long to complete them, and not because, well, Odyssey is big, but that wasn't really the main reason. It was just because it just took so long, just looking in every nook and cranny and just taking it in and enjoying it. So this one's going to have to be different, unfortunately.
It'll be strange, because I like you, like every game, like all the open world games I've played, even like The Witcher, Horizon, whatever, I just like to explore, like especially Horizon. That world is beautiful, and I will just sort of turn the HUD off and just walk Aloy through the world, and I just like to really chill out, almost like a zen-like walk through this virtual world. But I don't think, like you said, because when Valhalla was released, I was just a guy playing the game. So I had no particular need, but I think we're not professionals, we don't take any cash from this, but we do have like a professional interest in getting this, at least getting the main story beats and the conclusion clear. So let's see how it goes. But we want to do some Mirage episodes, and we don't really know yet what those episodes will be, because it depends on the game, but probably gameplay, probably look at lore implications, Basim's character, Roshan, what's the status of the hidden ones in the world and everything. So we'll see how that goes throughout October and November, but I'm kind of expecting just a lot of Mirage content, probably from mid-October up until Christmas, you know.
And I mean, it kind of goes without saying, this is what happens when the next Assassin's Creed game comes out. It's just like there's such a long period of time where the last game, it's been a while since it's been out, and people kind of go back to the older games, so you see a lot of like artwork and pictures and stuff going about of like the older stuff, and then as soon as it gets time to the newer game, it's like all eyes are on that, and it's going to just be Mirage for like the next year at least, I think.
I think you're right. I think it's going to inspire a lot of creation. It helps having a shorter game, you know. If you want to replay a specific memory or sequence that stuck out, or you want to re-explore a part of the map, you know, because it's a much shorter game, you can just create a new game and do it, you know. It's going to be good. I'll do a quick kind of other show update, and then we'll get into the main content of the episode, where we're going to get to know Chris a little bit better. But I'll just do a final kind of show update. So what we're going to be doing, so from this episode, if you're listening now, we are going to be moving to an early access release schedule. So for our members on Patreon, we're going to be releasing our episodes about 4 or 5 days early, and then we'll be going public release, you know, on audio and YouTube, then for everyone. So we do have a Patreon, we do have a Ko-fi, so if you want to throw us a £1 or $1 or €1 to help us out, we'd appreciate it with running the show and paying for our audio hosting service, Zencaster. That would help very much. We have a Patreon as well. You're welcome to come and join that, and join us in our private Patreon chat to us after the shows and in between the shows. We've also done a bit of an update on all of our socials, so there are more social networks now than there was a year ago, it seems, because everyone is trying to grab a bit of Twitter's space, or a slice of Twitter's pie. So we do have a Blue Sky account. You can follow us on there. Of course, we still keep our Twitter account going. Instagram, Tumblr, what else are we on? Threads. And my aim is just to keep putting the episode reminders out. So as our episodes go out, I'll put the links on the socials and people can find it there. I think most of our interaction will be on our Discord. So if you want to come and chat with us, if you want to talk about the episodes, just talk about Assassin's Creed, talk about other games. We love talking about other games. Come and join us on our Discord as well. So with all of those parish notices out the way, I want to talk to you, Chris, first about another community creative event that's going on right now. So Path to Mirage, you're involved in it. Arshak's involved in it. Tell us about Path to Mirage. What is it, and how can people follow along?
So Path to Mirage is basically a celebration of just Assassin's Creed games up to like Mirage, basically. Just what we've done. Sorry, I should start at the beginning. Sorry. Arshak from AC Landmarks contacted my group and wanted to team up and do this celebration. Kinda similar to AC15 in like what they done, in the way that we're basically just trying to encourage creators out there to show off your Assassin's Creed work, and it can be anything from art, cosplay, VP, I mean, you name it, we want to see it. And basically what we've done is we've split all the games into different generations, just so that we can kind of celebrate them all before Mirage comes out, because it's not too long now. So yeah, we've not got much time left, but we're currently in Generation 1 right as of right now. By the time this episode goes out, I'm not sure what generation we'll be on, but you can go on our website and check it out, or even check our social medias out, and you'll see.
I reckon we'll be on, this episode will go out early September, which will be Generation 2, I think, based on your schedule.
Yeah, it'll be either Generation 2 or 3, depending when in September it is. But yeah, I mean, so right now we're celebrating AC1, AC2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. Generation 2 will celebrate AC3, 4, Rogue, and Liberation, because we're counting that as a full game, even though it's not. Generation 3 will be Unity and Syndicate, and Generation 4 is basically the RPG trilogy, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. And then from October 9th, a few days before Mirage comes out, to the 22nd, we will be celebrating Mirage. So have some articles, some videos. We're going to have some VP contests. See, we are having VP contests, but we're only having them for the RPG games and Mirage. So VP contests won't be until a bit further down the line. So look out for that, because I know we a lot of our followers do enjoy them. So yeah, so
I like seeing all the content. It's great. So where can people find you? Where can people follow it? What platforms?
The best place to get all the actual information for it is to go to our website, which is just creedscholars.com, and there is a page on there called The Path, and that's got all the information you need. But you should definitely check either our Twitter account or our Instagram account, and the same with AC Landmarks. Definitely check out their stuff.
Very good.
So you can find us there. And I mean, we're doing streams. We're going to organise some VP contests, obviously, and yeah, just lots of stuff. And all we're asking people to do is to just shows off your work, whether it's new or old. Just post it on social media or in our Discords, and just tag it with Path to Mirage, and we'll promote it and show it off and put it on our website and all these things.
Very nice. AC15 was good. It was really nice to see people going back and chatting or replaying or streaming or just sharing their memories, of all of the games in this franchise. So it's nice to do it again.
Yeah.
And to run through the whole
absolutely.
franchise.
AC15 actually kind of almost reignited me a bit, and it was actually kind of the reason that I kept going, because just before that I was like, I'd only been doing Scholars for a few months, and I was actually about to just give up then. I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't really feel happy. But then that whole thing happened, and it excited me again. And I was like, oh yeah, I love Assassin's Creed.
Nice.
So,
Well, I tell you what, mate, that is a perfect launching off point. So, as part of getting to know Chris a little bit better, and we've chatted to him before, of course, we asked our Discord members and we asked our followers on Twitter for questions for Chris. And actually, I went back to episode 94, I think it was, when I joined the show, and Declan welcomed me to the show, and he had some questions prepared. So I thought, first of all, it would be fun to kind of replay those questions that Declan, he shone the bright light in my eyes and interrogated me about Assassin's Creed. So I'm going to do the same with Chris. Plus, we've got some listener and some audience questions. So I'm going to get you started. So with that passion, my friend, for Assassin's Creed, I want to get you started. So take us right back to the first AC game you played. Where were you? When was it? What was your experience? What was your reaction? What give us the warm, fuzzy memories of that first game?
And it is so warm and fuzzy as well. It was run about Christmas and everything. It felt magical. So yeah, I did speak a little bit about this when I came on your podcast the first time, but I'll go into a little bit more detail. So basically, I had never heard of the game. It never came across my radar, but it had only actually been out for a month by the time I seen it, so it wasn't out long. I went up to my friend's house, but I was only kind of passing through. I wasn't staying there long or anything, and I went in and he was sitting playing it. He had just got it, and I was like, what's this? He's like, oh, something called Assassin's Creed. I just thought I'd get it because I just didn't know what else to get, and I needed something. So I'm watching him playing this, and as soon as he started climbing up walls, right, he started climbing up this wall, and then he got to the roof, and then he just started running, and then like jumping from roof to roof, and I thought, this is the game I've been waiting for. Like, and I don't know why, it's just the whole climbing thing and jumping about the place. I thought, oh, that reminds me of when I was a kid and I used to play things like Tenchu, Stealth Warrior, or whatever it was called again, I can't even remember now. And that's like, you'd be running along the rooftops of buildings and jumping down on guys and stuff. So as soon as I seen it, I was like, yeah, that looks amazing, I need to get that. So I got it a couple of weeks later, round about Christmas, and honestly, I thought they gave me the wrong game or something. I was so confused because I honestly didn't know much about the game. I'd seen him playing it for like 10 minutes, but it was when it was Altair. He was in Akar, I think. So I was like, oh yeah, it's like back in the day. It's like this assassin guy, right? I didn't know much about it, and then like you turn the game on.
Is this assassin guy?
Yeah, I had no idea. But yeah, so I turned the game on for the first time, and it's like Desmond. I'm like, what is going on? Because it does. It starts
my
up
game
at
has
first.
been hacked. It's bugged.
It does start up at first, and it's like you are Altair, but it's like glitching out, and you can hear Al-Mualim's voice. No, sorry, not Al-Mualim's voice. No, it is his voice in the background. He's like saying all these things, but there's like all these glitches happening on screen, and you're like, what is going on? And then it comes out, and then you're Desmond, you're coming out the Animus, and Lucy's there and that, and I was like, what is this? Like, the fact that it was like, well, at the time I thought, oh, this is like in the future actually, or something. Didn't realise it was present day. But yeah, I was so confused by it, and I was like, what even is this game? And then the more I played it, I was like, this is nuts. Like, I found the story so intriguing, and this will probably tie into a little bit of another question later, but the modern day part of it is one of the things that stood out to me the most, because without that, I don't know, it's a good framing device, I think, to put it all together and to give it some sort of context. But yeah, that was the first time I played an AC game, so that was 2007, the first one.
So the very first few months when it was released, you were there. Very nice, very nice. I had similar experience just with a screenshot my friend sent me and said, you want to play this game? And it was I guess it was Alexios crouched down with a big plumed helmet in the grass outside this I guess villa, blue sea in the background, blue sky, the very bright saturated colours, and I thought, I don't know what this game is, but it looks amazing. I'm going to try this, and the rest is history. So, very good, very good. All right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game.
And what we should say is, if you haven't listened to the previous interview we did with Chris some months ago, he did a recent, well, actually not so recent now, he did a marathon of AC1. Just give us a couple of sentences on that marathon. What was your goal, and
the goal was to basically get 100% in one run, which many people have done on PCs and stuff, but I wasn't trying to do a speedrun or anything. I knew that wasn't the case, because speedruns, they use glitches and like all these types of things, but I've never done any of that. I just know the game kind of back to front, so I thought I could probably do that quite quick. So yeah, I think it was like 13 or 14 hours or something. I still don't know about it. Yeah, awesome. I'm actually planning on doing it again at some point. Nice. And actually get 100%, because like I said, there was a few mess ups and I think I missed like 2 or 3 flags. So I'm not happy. Close. That's been playing on my mind since. I'm not happy.
Alright, so Andy from Andy Reloads asks, I would love to know what you're both looking forward to most in Mirage. Chris, you go first, mate. You're right, you're new. You go first.
See, that is a hard question for me, because I'm just so excited to get another Assassin's Creed game now, because it's been quite a while. And I'll agree with Declan when he says he thinks that the tagline that they've used is back to, what is it?
Oh, is it? It's not back to basics, because that's
it's not back to basics. It's something like that, but yeah,
slogan.
That I don't agree with that at all, because even though I am one of the people that started at the beginning and stuff, I mean, I love all the Assassin's Creed games. I think the RPGs are just as good as the old ones. So this whole it's going back to the roots, that's it. I don't agree with that at all, although I am excited for it. Like, the fact that we will be a hidden one assassin type person, and we'll be in an Arab country, and that's where it kind of begun and stuff. It is a bit of a callback to the first game, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I'm just happy that there's a new one coming, because it's been a while now, and I think we're all kind of tired of Valhalla at this point, just because it's so big and so much to it. We've all been playing it for years.
There was I was looking at the Assassin's Creed subreddit earlier, and one of the new posts, one of the sort of most upvoted recent posts, someone had written that the subject of their post was Valhalla, something like what the heck happened, and then in his post he put, I'm 20 hours in and it was amazing, and now I don't have any idea what's going on. And do you know, I think about Valhalla a lot. I still do, because it's got so much incredible proper Assassin's Creed content. Hidden Ones, Order of the Ancients, Free Will, Sages. It connects amazingly to little crumbs and lines from the Ezio games. It kind of finishes the Desmond saga with Layla joining him in Yggdrasil. It's so steeped in Assassin's Creed goodness, but it's like, I don't know what if you're a drinking man, but I do like a gin and tonic, and I do enjoy buying a quality gin and tonic. So it's like buying a £30 or £40 gin, and then you dilute it with 8 litres of cheap crap tonic water, because there's some amazing moments in that game, and then there's just the bits, and you just think, I tell you what, I never was able to organise my thoughts right, and I watched if you're interested in a really, he's not very positive, right? So if you love Valhalla, that's fine. Some people want the Viking experience, they want the exploration, the combat is good, I totally respect that. So if you like the Viking thing, obviously it's a good game. Not personally, it didn't really connect with me, but if you watch JV does a very good kind of breakdown of why it didn't work for him, and a lot of what he was saying, he was able to express far more succinctly than I could my feelings. But I remember, you would do a story with Sigurd and Basim, and you'd kind of feel like, oh, this is great, we're getting into some proper Seiji, Isu, first Civ stuff, and then you'd go off and do 3 or 4 side arcs and forget where you were. So Valhalla.
I
wish we were able to get the concentrated
it almost
story.
made it, but it just kind of missed a little bit. But
Okay,
yeah, I
so
still like it. I think it's good, but it's just a lot of it. Oh, so
understood.
actually, to go back to the original question, do you know something that I'm excited for? Actually,
Mm,
is lots of tools to play with in
I was going to say
Mirage.
tools. Yep,
Yeah, I always love that
yep,
stuff. All the wee things you can like fire. Well, it's no firecrackers in this. It's a noisemaker. It's called, isn't it?
yeah.
Just things like that. I love messing with all that stuff and the blow darts and see. I think do we get the berserk darts because they're just hilarious. Let's be honest.
That's a good question. So
It's like
each
you
tool is
poison and
going
then
to
you start
be,
swinging.
yeah.
I can't because they've definitely got the
Uh,
sleep darts. I'm assuming. 'Cause what
mm,
else would it be? Yeah, I'm sure I did read. I think it was Access to Animus they'd put 'cause they'd said something about it. Yeah.
it might be
Yeah.
upgradable because I think every tool
Mm,
has got like a 2-level upgrade or base upgrade, then an upgraded version. So it might be that you can
yeah.
upgrade it to Berserk. To answer Andy's question, honestly, I was going to say to have a range of tools that let me experiment and have fun. And
Yeah.
more importantly, unlike the way that Odyssey and Valhalla have done it, those tools, or Odyssey handled it slightly differently, but there's no adrenaline.
Mm.
So it never made sense for Eivor's smoke arrows to be linked to adrenaline, but they were. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that very much. I'm looking forward to just being in a city and just walking in the crowd and
Yeah.
just feeling that city, because I do enjoy open world games. I love the exploration and the sense of adventure in open world games. But yeah, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for a big city to really soak up after I've sprinted through the main story. But anyway,
Yeah.
all right, let's move on. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions that came, I think, from my original episode with Declan. So do you have a favourite assassination type, like double assassination, air, ranged, blend, maybe something different?
So you wrote here drive-by. Is that like a running assassination?
Oh, I did. So my favourite. This is my favourite, and it's the
Right.
least dramatic. I like it when you're walking, the target is there, you've made it to within touching distance, and you just tap assassinate, and you just carry on walking.
Oh, like Arno when he kind of sticks it into the side
Yeah.
of them and just keeps
Yep,
walking.
and just
Yeah, I know
carries
what you
on
mean.
walking. And I just think I know it's the
Yeah.
lowest key, least dramatic, but I love the idea of just
Oh,
snip,
that is.
stab, and then just. Obviously, the air assassinations look cool, but
Yeah, but what you're saying is that is like pure. That is an assassin, but isn't it? That's like you're just walking into the crowd. Oh, stab! Oh, and I'm gone already.
and you're gone. Yeah. Do you have a favourite? Do you have a
Well-
favourite animation, or maybe a favourite game for
Well,
assassinations?
I do see because when I read the thing that said drive by, I thought that meant like like running past them. Sorry, and yeah, I like the running assassinations, and I do especially like Arno's where he does like the wee spin. It's like you're running towards them and you kind of like spin round and then like slit their throat with the blade. That is vicious.
He's a flashy
Yeah,
guy. I don't
yeah,
know
I
what to
love.
tell you.
I always
Yeah.
wee twirls not there. Fucking brilliant. Yeah, I would say the run assassination. I always love a good air assassination as well. And for, back in the day, when I was first playing Assassin's Creed 2, I didn't realise you could ledge assassinate for so long. And then when I figured it out, I was mind blown. I was like, oh my god, I can just climb upside this wall and pull the guy over. Right.
It is funny when
So-
you grab their ankle and just yoink.
Brilliant. But yeah, no, the run assassination is my favourite.
Gotcha. All right. There have been obviously lots of Assassin's Creed games on PC, on console, but there have been lots of other games on mobile devices, legacy consoles, and whatever. So, are there any Assassin's Creed games that you haven't played?
Yeah, well, I've played all the main titles, and but I've not actually played. Was it Altair's Chronicles
Oh, yeah.
and the other one? I think is there two Altair ones?
Bloodlines?
Yeah, Bloodlines. Yeah, I've not played them. I have no idea, because yeah, I can't even. One of them's on a DS, isn't it? And one of them's a
think-
phone game. I think. I'm not sure.
I actually don't know. I
Yeah,
haven't
well,
played those two either.
I've never been really a Nintendo guy or anything, so I've never really had any of them. I had a Game Boy and stuff when I was a kid, but that was about it.
Yeah.
So I haven't played those, but that's kind of it. I've played all the mainline games and stuff like that. I've played all the DLCs. Yeah.
All right, very good. What about the motion pictures? Lineage, Embers?
Yeah, I've seen both of them. I actually kind of watch all that stuff like kind of once a year. Like I'll watch They Two and I'll watch the movie. I kind of do that around about Christmas. I don't know. That's just
Christmas
like my
treat.
yeah. That's just my wee treat. But
Very
yeah,
nice.
I love Embers especially. Like my favourite quote in the whole thing is from that, and I've actually got it like on our homepage of our website and stuff. It's like right there under our logo, and it's beautiful, man. So
What's the quote?
oh, just so I can get it perfect and not wrong. Don't butcher it. I'm just pulling it up real quick.
Yeah.
It is. So it's when Ezio and Xiao Jun are talking, and she's asking him about like how does she do all this? How does she save her people and all that stuff? And there's more to this quote, but there's just this section that I cut out because it's my favourite part. So it says, "Love binds our order together. Love of people, of cultures, of the world, to fight to preserve that which inspires hope." Yeah.
Very nice, mate. Yeah.
So yeah, I really like Embers, and I really like the movie as well. I know the movie gets a lot of hate, but I like it. I thought it was good.
On a first watch, I didn't rate it, and on a second watch, I actually thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
When you think how complex this franchise is, they had to bring that into a 2-hour film or however long it is.
Yeah.
I think they did it pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I mean, it could have had more Aguilar and stuff, but I thought it was decent. So.
All right. In your opinion, what's the weakest or what's your least favourite game?
So we did again speak a little bit about this, and I'm going to say it again for the millionth time, but I do like all of them. But my least favourite, and it's for dumb reasons, is just Rogue. And it's just simply like I'm the story guy. I like stories, I like characters. So obviously I'm all about the assassins, and being an assassin and then turning into a Templar I was not happy about.
Gotcha.
But I still love Shay, I love the character, I love the game. I think it's a great story, and it's a tragic story. And I mean, yeah, but again, that's my least favourite one, and that's literally just because it's that.
Understood.
But yeah,
all right.
I kind of like them all, and as you know, 3 is my favourite.
Absolutely. We've got to find a suitable Connor picture for our thumbnail for this one, that's for sure. All right. I've got a few more questions from me, and then we'll go over to more questions from our listeners. Actually, no, let's mix it up. Let's have a few questions from listeners. So I'm just going to pick one from the bottom here. So Zark, who has been on the show before, who are your Assassin's Creed crushes?
Oh.
You don't have to answer that one if you don't want to. It's fine. But Zark asking the after dark questions there.
Asking the important things. Yeah, well, all the redheads, because that's my type. I like
gotcha.
So obviously I like Elise, and I like Anne Bonny, but I like Anne Bonny from like just out of a historical point of view. And I really like the show Black Sails, and her character in that is amazing. She's such a badass. So I just naturally like Anne Bonny and everything I see. And Ciara, so yeah, all the redheads, funnily enough.
Gotcha.
That's the ones I crush on. Sorry?
I do believe Zark will be happy with that answer.
Oh
Yes, I
yeah,
believe
he'll definitely.
He's a fan of Kira as well. So
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for that one, Zark. For going in for the...
Is your favourite Elise, I'm assuming, or?
I mean, I've got eyes, you know.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Whew, it's getting warm in here. All right. Thank you, Zark, for that very scientific and detailed lore question there. But we've got to get the important topics out of the way. All right. Jason asks, how different do you think Assassin's Creed would be if they'd never introduced the Animus or the modern day? That is a big question.
Yeah, and a loaded one at that.
Potentially so, yeah. Thanks for that, Jason.
No, and this is what I meant earlier by this, what I was saying about my first experience with Assassin's Creed 1, and that the modern day was the part that caught me off guard, and I was like, what is this? And I honestly think if they didn't have that from the start, I don't think the game would have been as successful as it is. Because yeah, it's cool to be an assassin and run about in these historical time periods. And I know there's a lot of people out there that hate the modern day. I've seen plenty of them that have been saying since like 2012 that they shouldn't even be doing that whole modern day thing. But I've always disagreed with that, because I think it's one of the main things that sets Assassin's Creed apart from other games. No other game does something that weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so we're using our DNA to look into the past to see where these hidden things are hidden, basically, and then you've got the ISO injected into it, and then you've got, you know what I mean? There's so many layers to it, and without the modern day in there, I just don't think it works as well. It could work, obviously, but it's just not as good.
I think for me it really, because I played the games very much out of order, and Odyssey being my first, there is a modern day, it is playable mostly, kinda. But I the first time I played through, I didn't get it. I was one of those people saying, wait, sorry, who's Layla again? I've been in ancient Greece for like 50 hours. And I didn't really get it until I went back and played some of the earlier ones. But definitely, of course, AC1 with Desmond, it really kind of hits you hard what's going on there and how strange it is. But it was in Brotherhood, right at the start, or very close to the start, when Desmond and Lucy are parkouring underneath Monteriggioni, and he's seeing the ghosts of those memories that have been awakened, you know. And that's where it really hit my head, and I thought, oh man, this is cool. And then at the end of the game, you're in the Colosseum, and again, you're following your ghost, you know, of hundreds of years before, and that's when you think, shit, this is cool. This is why we are doing what we're doing.
Well, it makes sense then, because you did start with one of the later games that, it makes perfect sense. You would see the modern day part of it and think, what even is this? This makes no sense. Or we're barely even there. Why are we even doing that at all? So I can totally understand that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, back then, from Assassin's Creed 1 to 3, they knew what they were doing with the modern day. They had a clear goal. The story was great. And then after 3, I guess they just didn't know what to do with it. Because that's what I'm saying, you're kind of messing about for a few games on 4 and Unity and Syndicate, you're not really, in 4 you're kind of messing about, you've still got gameplay elements to it, and then Unity and stuff, like the modern day stuff is just cutscenes basically, and then like, to me that seemed like they didn't really know what to do with it, and then obviously the issues with Unity and Syndicate obviously made them pivot to the RPG series. And I don't know. It's crazy.
It's been in a strange situation for a while, hasn't it? I mean, I don't know if this is a niche opinion, but I quite liked Black Flag's modern day.
Yeah.
I respect the fact that, okay, Desmond, he is dead. We can't reuse him. Our modern day is chronological. So, you know, we can't suddenly have a game where the modern day is in 2007, because that's not the way we've built this franchise. And I like the fact they went for something totally different. And you know, they put you in the middle of Abstergo, and you're making a video game based on these pirates. You know, I thought that was a really quite interesting premise. I appreciate it's not exact gameplay walking around with an iPad, but I don't know, I quite liked it for trying something, you know, being willing to try something different.
And I mean, that is what Assassin's Creed is good at. They try something. If it works, cool. If not, no big deal.
Indeed.
Try again.
Indeed. All right, let's move on. So, White Wolf Whispers asks, how, when, and why did you start Scholars of the Creed?
That's a kind of a hard one to answer, because I mean, again, spoke a little bit about it, but Scholars of the Creed came about because, I mean, I had been kind of in the background of the community, like just hanging out. I never really spoke to anyone, I never really posted anything, I was kind of just there, lurking, watching. And I seen a lot of just horrible stuff, and this was about 2018, about 2018. and I just a lot of communities that I would try and gravitate towards. There was always just really horrible people amongst them, and I didn't ever really feel welcome and stuff. So
Gotcha.
I kind of just was like, you know what, I'm just going to make my own group and make it as welcoming as possible. And obviously, we accept anyone unless you are full of hatred, then you're gone. But yeah, so it came out. That came out of that idea. But I also wanted to like contribute to the community in some way. And I mean, I'm not very artistic in any way, but I mean, I always loved virtual photography. I was doing virtual photography before photo modes were ever a thing, because you were able to take screenshots on like Xbox and stuff for a long time. So I had for a long time just always been like, oh, remove the HUD, and then I'll put my character here and get that background in view, and I'll just take a screenshot, and then I would like, you know, edit it afterwards on the computer and stuff and make these cool pictures. So I always like that, so I thought, well, might as well push that side of it. That would be a good thing. So yeah, I just thought, let's get a team of people together that are like artists, writers, man, let's make some cool stuff and get a website and we'll put it on there and just become a community basically. That was just the idea. And I had said before that it took me a long time to get it off the ground, because the idea came up in 2018, didn't get anything really started until just before the pandemic, and then the pandemic did hit, so it kind of slowed me down more. Yeah. So yeah, I'd said this on the last podcast that at that time our Twitter account was only a year old at that point, so it's only about a year and a bit old now. And I mean, people seem to like what we do, so yeah, I really enjoy it, and I'm glad I decided to do it.
Yeah. And you've picked good people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well.
Yeah,
So
I love my team. Shout out to the team.
absolutely. We've had a number of members of them. Ad has been on the show.
Yep.
Zark and others as well. So it's all good. All right, I'm gonna switch back to a few questions from me. So tell us a few other games or gaming franchises that you enjoy or that really stand out for you.
Yeah, well, see, I told you before that like growing up I used to play all the GTA games like that. I was obsessed with them, even though I should not have been playing them because I was like 12 or something. But you know, it was fine. I was alright. But yeah, I don't really play them anymore. I mean, I will play I'll play GTA 6 when it comes out, but
If or when.
yeah, if it ever does. But I know that's a Half-Life 3 situation at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really that much into them anymore. I'm waiting for Starfield to come out, because I'm usually not like a sci-fi guy. Really, I'm more of a fantasy guy. I like Skyrim and all that type of stuff, and all the RPGs. But no, there's something about Starfield, man. I like the look of it and just all this exploring the galaxy type stuff, man. I want to do that. So I'm waiting for that.
An Xbox exclusive, is that right?
I think so, yeah. But I mean, you'll be able to play it on PC as well. I think just PlayStation is the only place you won't be playing it.
Understood. So what's this? Open world, explore the galaxy?
Yeah, it's Skyrim in space.
Gotcha.
Basically,
right. That's a good pitch. What more do you need?
Yeah. I think that's how they described it as well at the time. So yeah, I'm waiting for that, and I'm trying to think what else is coming out.
Yeah.
Nothing really. But yeah.
Understood.
That's the only thing I can really think of off the top of my head right now, because I mean, Assassin's Creed is kind of my life.
Gotcha. All right. What's the most recent non-Assassin's Creed game that you finished?
Ooh. Trying now. Don't actually know. I think it was an old game, because I just started a new account on my Xbox like a few months back and called it Creed Scholar and all this type. But I think the last thing I completed, because I love getting 100% in things. My OCD kills me. So I think it was Call of Duty 2019. I think I completed that.
Okay,
and
you're right.
What Remains of Edith Finch, I just completed that. That's a really small game. It only take me like 2 or 3 hours to complete, but
I've
that's
heard
really
about that.
really interesting, but super weird. Like
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it because I don't actually. Half of it I didn't understand. I was like, what is even going on here? And it's really sad as well. But definitely look into that if you like kind of interactive novels, because it's not quite an interactive novel. There's a little bit of gameplay to it, but it's very basic.
Understood. All right. I will add. I like get these sorts of conversations because as soon as someone says I like this game, I just stick it on my wish list, and I might come back to it 2 years later. But I love having those in my wish list, and if they're on sale, I'll get them. So that's a good recommendation. All right. Do you prefer linear, smaller games or larger open world games?
Well, I usually prefer open worlds. I like all the collecting and all that type of stuff. It doesn't really bother me. For Assassin's Creed, I feel like there needs to be a happy medium, because I like the linear ones and I like the RPG ones, but I do think, especially Valhalla, it's just too big. And then something like Assassin's Creed 1 is like, there's not a lot to it. There is really not a lot. But again, that was the first game. It's 2007. They made an amazing game. So I think there needs to be a happy medium between linear and open world for Assassin's Creed. If we can get that, I think we'll win. Everyone will be happy.
Do you know, to come back to Andy's question from earlier, that'll be something that I'm really just excluding like the actual experience of gameplay. Like, I'll just be fascinated to see what they do with Mirage, because the team are not building it in a vacuum, right? They've got, of course, they're building it as an expansion, or what's the right way to say it? They're building it on top of Valhalla's original code and animations and functions. So of course they can customize it as they want, but I'll just be fascinated to see, do they go for a strict, it's a city like Firenze, London, Paris, whatever, and that's it, or will it be a bit more open in that yes, there's a city, but you're going to have to search for the quest markers, the quest givers, the assassination targets. Will you have to gather the evidence or the clues like you did in AC1? It's only after gathering the evidence that you get the target zone or whatever. Or will you have just a series of really obvious quest markers, go A, B, C, kill the guy? I'll be very interested to see what bits of the franchise do they pluck from the shopping list. What do they actually want to take and combine? I mean, I would love it if, and we have had a few hints from what's been released and what they've discussed, that after the first couple of missions, it kind of, you'll get a list of targets that potentially you can eliminate in any order you like, which could be interesting. But how will they be living in the world, and if you stumble on them you can just stab them, or will you have to put the work in perhaps in a non-linear fashion to then expose each target? I don't know. So I'll be really interested to see how they blend it and what they do. All right, so thinking back over all the games you've had, is there any game mechanic, mini game, like den defense, detective missions, Valhalla's drinking game, and there's lots of others that you didn't enjoy or thought was a bit silly or anything like that?
A lot of them. Most mini games don't actually bother me. It's the ones in Assassin's Creed 3 that really annoyed me, because things like Fanorama or something it's called, it's all these mental board games by like the 1600s or something. No, obviously it's before that. But I just, Fanorama and stuff, and there was achievements attached to the ones, so that really drove me up the wall, because I had to do it to get these achievements. And I didn't know how to do it. I don't know how to play those games. They're so confusing to me, and even if I did know how to play it, it would probably be a miracle to beat the computer at it. So what I had to do was basically use guides from True Achievements, but these aren't just normal guides. These are where you basically download a version of that type of game, like Fanorama, from a website, right? And then what you do is you switch the game around, and basically every move that the computer makes on the PC, you make that same move on AC3 and against Achilles, because it's him you need to play. So, and it's mental trying to do it that way, but it's literally the only way I can do it. But other people figured out you can do it this way. So yeah, for some reason the computer makes the same moves. It's weird. But yeah, that's the one I hate the most.
Gotcha. All right. What did you think of? I loved it. Right. I'll preface this question by saying I actually really enjoyed it. What did you think of Orlog?
Orlog? Oh, no, I loved it. At first, I really didn't like it because I've never really played things like that in real life, like or anything like that.
No, I mean.
So at first it seemed like a card game, which it kind of is. Well, it's not really. It seemed like the one in The Witcher or something. But obviously it's not that. But at first I just didn't like it. But once I actually understood how to play it, I was like, oh no, this is actually really fun. And I actually, like, that was one of my favourite things to do. I'd like go into a new city in Valhalla, and then you'd do the viewpoint, and then you'd see the wee marker pop up for Orlog in that town. I'm like, yes, here we go, boys. We've got some Orlog to do.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I will say on the Witcher topic, so I played Witcher 3, or finished Witcher 3 this year, a couple of months ago. I did not have the patience or interest in Gwent. Sorry, everyone. I know it's much beloved, but this is a big game. I just don't have the time or the motivation to learn another big game inside the big game. And I think, if I remember rightly, when you're in White Orchard, there is a Gwent player there. Do you have to play him as part of the sort of game tutorial? I think
so, yeah.
Do. So I did the tutorial Gwent game. I lost immediately because there's so many numbers, and I just like, no, sorry, maybe I'm lazy, but I'm really not bothered. So I lost that game, and then every time I had an option to play Gwent, I went nope. And there's actually some, I remember this distinctly. There's a couple of story points in sort of the middle of the game when you're in Novigrad, and you can progress the story, I guess, probably in a non-lethal way, if you're willing to play Gwent and you win the Gwent games. I said, nope, sod that. No, I'm not playing Gwent. I will hack you guys all down. And I just did that because I do not have the interest. And I know there's Gwent physical cards and there's a whole stand. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I'm not interested in that stuff. All right, let's move on. Any mechanics or any sort of gameplay items that you'd like to see return to future games? Maybe we're going to see some in Mirage.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I'm not too sure, and I think, yeah, I like the liberation thing, the costume thing. I like that, and I like, because that could be used so much better as well in bigger ways.
Absolutely.
You could set up some amazing black box missions with that in place.
Yeah. You knock out a guard, steal their clothes, or you dress as a civilian, and it gets you access to a certain part of the mansion house or whatever it is you're at, the castle. And
a lot could be learned from the Hitman series for this type of stuff, like a lot, because I mean that's how that was all done. I mean, you can basically just knock the guy out, take his outfit off him, hide him in a cupboard or something. I mean,
do you know what? Even in Origins, right? Do you remember this? You could jump into the hay bales that were on the back of horse and cart, and then it would take you into the forts undetected. We need more things like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Imagine it would need a bit of story script, but imagine you are an assassin and you allow yourself to get caught, so you're thrown in jail. Well, guess what? I'm inside with a lockpick. Away I go. You know, there could be so many interesting ways of transporting you in and out of danger zones. Or anyway, the Persona system is great. Anything else you'd like to see come back from maybe the RPG games? Maybe going back to Syndicate or.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure, to be honest. I mean, because I like the whistle, right? And see when they took that out of Unity, that really annoyed me.
It was so
like,
frustrating.
how am I supposed to bring them closer?
I mean, cherry bombs are like your whistle replacement.
Yeah,
But
basically, but they're
why can't
so
Arno whistle? Come
the
on.
cherry bombs are good, but they're pretty inconsistent, I feel.
Yes.
And I don't
Yes.
even think it's uh, the bomb's fault. It's the AI's fault of the people or the guards and stuff. It's like they'll hear it and then they'll like walk the opposite way, or they just won't react to it or something. Right, so yeah,
It's
that annoys me.
the guard has to be in line of sight, which of
Yeah.
course is bullshit because the cherry bomb makes a noise. But I don't think the guards
Yeah, makes no
understand,
sense.
or they've been coded to understand audio. Do you know, it'd be
Yeah.
interesting. Like the AC Fixes mod for Unity that was released recently. It has loads of fixes and new features. I wonder. I don't remember it, but I wonder if there's anything in there for cherry bomb functionality.
But
All
no,
right.
I mean, just yeah, bring those. Just make sure you keep the whistle.
Understood. Okay, this is the last one from me, and I think this was one that Declan asked me, or did I just make this up myself? Anyway, last one from me, and then we'll go back to some questions from listeners. So, which story moments really blew your mind across this whole franchise?
Right. So, I mean, there is quite a few of them. I think the whole revelation about Lucy and Brotherhood. I actually was not. I didn't see that coming up. A lot of people probably did, but I didn't. I was not expecting her to be a Templar or anything like that. So that was definitely one of them that blew my mind. It's usually always deaths that kind of get me
Yeah.
in the games. I mean, Elise, that really got me. But mind blowing, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the end of AC3 was mind blowing to me. I couldn't believe that what had just happened, and I was like, well, what happens now? How do we go forward and stuff? So I was like in a place of limbo for a while. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I don't really know. I would really need to think about that one.
All right, so we might come back to story moments that blew your mind as we go through the last few questions here from listeners. So let's we've got a few questions to go. So let's go over to a question from Alison, who asked this question over on Twitter. Perhaps more of a show question, but I think with your the work you do in your community, you might be able to give an interesting answer as well. So I'll have a quick go first, Alison, then I'll hand over to Chris. So Alison asks, have you considered interviewing some of the Assassin's Creed virtual photographers in the future? The answer for me in terms of this podcast is yes. I enjoy it as a hobby myself. I tend to enjoy games more when there's photography opportunities. We've talked about it quite a few times about how we could do it. I think the problem is that virtual photography is visual and we are an audio first show. I mean, we do publish our episodes on YouTube, but they're just the audio with an animated background. So I think it would be interesting to hear from people and how they do it, but I think it'd probably be more useful if they can actually have their photos or their work or their process on the screen so you can follow along. So if they're talking about how they use the virtual camera, how they use the tools, maybe they do some post-processing, you probably need to see it so you can see the steps in the process or the before and after, maybe how they're sort of looking for the different lighting and so on. So I think for my opinion is probably not. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is doable because there is VP groups that actually do like kind of interview other VP artists. So I'm not actually sure how they do it, but there is obviously a way. But yeah, without the visual element, I don't think it works as well. But from our side, from my group, Scholars of the Creed, we have just started doing community spotlight articles for our website last month. So we've only brought out one. We're going to do one a month, and it will highlight any community member that creates something. So it's not just VP, it can be art, cosplay, even written work. We really like fan fiction, stuff like that. We want to see more of that. So yeah, our first one was last month, and we actually done it on the VP artist that won our contest a few months back. So yeah, we will be looking out for more. We know who we know who we're doing for this month, so that will come out near the end of the month. And yeah, we will contact people and to ask them if they want to be interviewed and that. So I mean, yeah, keep an eye out.
And while Chris was speaking, I had a memory that there is a group called the Photo Mode, Alison, who they do a photo mode podcast. I don't know whether they are a video podcast or whether they are audio or both, but definitely check out and see what they do.
Yeah, TPM, they do something where they interview VP artists, so I'm not entirely sure how they do it, but they, like I was saying to you before, that they are actually going to be helping us with promotion and the VP contest judging when the time comes. So yeah, definitely look them up and keep an eye out.
Yeah, all right, very good. Okay, we've got a couple of questions here from the Nerdy Archer. One quick question, I think, and then one more serious question. So let's have the silly question first. Chris, Marmite, yes or no?
Of course that was the question. Right, it's a bit of both, really. I kind of like it and I kind of don't at the same time. I can eat it on toast, it cannot be bread, and it has to have other stuff on it like butter and cheese or something like that. I can't just have toast and Marmite. That's wrong. And I do prefer Vegemite over Marmite because I do have a lot of Australian family, and when I was over there we had a big discussion about it and I tried it and yeah, I agree, that's better.
All right, the Australian Brotherhood is very happy with that.
Yeah.
We have Vegemite in the house here at the moment. I do enjoy Marmite. I have heard, and I've never tried it because it kind of sounds crazy, but Marmite on roast potatoes. Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess you've got to try it to be certain, but it sounds like it shouldn't work, but I don't know. For those listening, a large proportion of our listeners are in North America, according to our Spotify analytics. I'm guessing most people have heard of Marmite, but if you haven't, it is strange. It is a sandwich spread. It's a yeast extract. I think you said earlier, Chris, it's like
a byproduct of beer.
Of beer manufacture, or beer brewing. It's very, very dark brown. It's very salty, very bitter, maybe a little bit of the umami flavour. It's very strange. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I think it's described as being kind of like a beef flavour to it, almost.
Yes. I like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I do like it, but it is it's certainly strange. All right, so you're a maybe in the right conditions.
Yeah. There's very specific conditions.
Gotcha. All right. And Nerdy Archer's second question: which character do you think you are most like? Who would you like to be most like?
Yeah, so I had to have a good think about this because I wasn't really sure, but I would say that I'm probably most like Jacob or Arno just because of their absolute cheek and all the one-liners they give people. see just
cheeky scamps.
See just all the wee things like at the near the beginning of Unity, and he's like jumping out the window, and the guy's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Running." Brilliant, all of that stuff. So I'm probably a bit like them because I'm quite cheeky to people. Kind of just say what I think. And who I would most like to be like, I mean, probably Connor, because I think he's a good role model for anyone. He's a good guy, he means the best, and he just wants to do right by his people and by the world, so why would you not want to strive to be that?
That is a wholesome answer, my friend. I can't argue with that. All right. Let's move on to a couple of quick questions from Zark. So we've kind of perhaps already covered this, but I want to ask you anyway. So Zark asks, what's your favourite AC game or games, and who are your favourite characters?
Well, it should be obvious by now, but AC3 is my favourite game, and Connor is my favourite assassin.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Give me your top 3 AC games.
Top 3? Oh, right. Okay. AC3. Probably AC4. I really like Pirates. I've got a thing for Pirates. So.
Gotcha.
And it's a kind of, the third place is a kind of tie between Unity and Origins, because I really like Unity's city parkour, all that type of stuff, and the feel of it. It's got really good atmosphere in Unity. It's like it's up there with AC1 for atmosphere. But I like Origins story and stuff. Like, I absolutely adore Aya. I think she got robbed big time.
Yes.
I love Bayek, don't get me wrong, but I think she totally got robbed, and it should have been her game. But yeah, so it's kind of hard for me to choose between Unity and Origins for third place. But like I've said a million times,
Understood.
I love them all. I don't care what you say.
We'll let you. That's a good answer. All right. Any other characters you'd call out that stand out? Any antagonists that stand out?
Well, gotta love Haytham. You can't
course.
not love that Templar. You've got to love Elise. You can't not love that Templar.
Of course.
And I really like Adewale. I just find him so endearing. He's just,
man's a legend.
yeah, it's absolutely legendary. And yeah, more Adewale, please.
He's like Edward is so focused on the observatory, and Adewale is he's like his conscience. You know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is madness. You know, there's more we can do. There's something bigger out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that line that he says to Edward: "When your heart and your head are ready, seek out the assassins."
Yeah.
I was
Beautiful.
like, oh damn! And then he walks away, and that's it. Edward is, you know, he's on his own. So damn, yeah. All right. Final question from Tone Capone, which is a great username.
Yeah.
Hi, Tone Capone. Tone Capone asks, "What's your favourite DLC?" This is a good question, right? And I did say when Tone posted this question in our Discord, I did reply and say it's a great question, and an episode I would love to do. And we've had this episode on our list for a long time. We keep sort of kicking it away because other stuff comes up, right? I would love to do kind of a complete review summary of all the DLCs, you know, the stories, what was good, what was bad, which kind of told new and exciting stories and all the rest of it. But anyway, back to the question. Chris, favourite DLC?
I was not expecting that one when I seen it. That is really hard. I don't know. There's lots of good ones. I mean, the DLC for Revelations is really good. And I really...
Oh, is that the
the
I should fucking know.
Archives.
This. Lost Archive? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. And I really like... what do you call it? I like Adewale. I mean, that's DLC. Is it Freedom Cry? Yeah. I thought that was really good because that told a really sad story, and yeah, it's heartbreaking. Really like that. But yeah, I mean, all the DLCs are quite decent. I mean, I really like the hidden ones as well. I thought just seeing Amunet in our hidden ones outfit and all, I thought, oh my god, she's the most badass thing I've ever seen. So yeah, I would say I like hidden ones, Archive, and Freedom Cry. They're probably my three favourites.
All right, very good. Tone, I want you to tell us when this episode goes out, what was your favourite AC DLC? Because the modern games have had 2 each, and then the others have generally had 1 each. There is a lot to choose from, and some have been kind of
even Valhalla's
short,
ones were
like,
pretty good.
Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed both of them as like standalone things to do. I quite enjoyed the Wrath of the Druids. I enjoyed probably Siege of Paris more.
Yeah,
I'm
the
very
same.
subjective, but yeah, they were decent. I didn't really enjoy Legacy of the First Blade because it was
definitely issues there.
Yeah, but I did enjoy Fate of Atlantis. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was just really out there, and it does. If you want to talk about lore, it's all there.
Oh yeah.
I still think, and I know if Louise listens to this, it's not her favourite, but I still really enjoyed the Jack the Ripper DLC.
Yeah.
The fact that you got to play as Jack, the way that they kind of evolved some of the skills, but just the way it was presented, the presentation was really dark.
Yeah, it was a
disturbing.
really bold move, I thought, but
yeah,
it worked, and yeah, it's pretty good.
Absolutely. All right. That's it for questions for our new co-host. So thank you everyone who submitted questions. It was great to go through these and get to know Chris a little bit more. We've got quite a few episodes planned sort of between now and sort of running up to the release of Mirage. We've got things planned for Mirage after release. We're really looking forward to it, I've got to say. And I think that's it for today's episode. Chris, any final words? Any words of wisdom?
No, just thanks again for thinking of me and trusting me to do this for you, and I'm really looking forward to going forward.
Don't mention it, mate. It's been good.
And thanks for the questions, everyone. They were really fun.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's leave it there. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks.